if you're looking at all these different technology signals and factors that you have to consider in your EA renewal, really the biggest differentiator or key factor for every customer is Microsoft 365. Like it's the key to the kingdom. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, why is that the case? And what does that mean for customers around EA planning and negotiation? Like what does that fact mean to everyone?
So it's funny because like the simplest answer to that is, grab your price sheet from Microsoft that's your EA deal and look at it. And then it's that old song, one of these things is not like the other. Like one number is going to stand out miles above everybody else. And that will
Right,
be what you're paying for M365, right? Like that's
right.
going to be the biggest line item on your bill. I mean, there are going to be other big line items and some can be pretty big, but that's generally going to be the bulk of what you're spending your money with
Yep,
Microsoft on.
yep.
And we always have conversations about the licenses, right? And that's important, right? There's an E3 license, an E5 license, E7 license. There's a gajillion permutations in between. I call them the Tetris blocks. There's like, it's like playing the licensing Tetris game. But all the licenses are collections of features, right? At the end of the day, the M365 ecosystem is a big giant collection of technology features all woven together to form products, to form solutions, to form concepts like zero trust, etc. But it all comes down to the feature level. That's the real battlefield. And so, because what you pay for that ecosystem is the biggest line on your bill, and because that bill is based on the features that you use, I wish there was an easier way to do it, but there really isn't. Like you need to
Yeah.
go down to the feature level and understand what those features are, what you're doing with them, what you plan to do with them or don't plan to do with them. Like that's where you have to start because that then is going to help you understand what the right licensing configuration is. And once you understand what the right licensing configuration is, that's going to help you go into that negotiation anchored on not Microsoft's objectives, but your objectives, and then it's going to be incumbent on Microsoft. So, for example, let's just say that at the end of the day, you determine, man, I am a really solid M365 E3 shop, and I need that Entra Plan 2 step up because I do identity protection in Entra, and that's my big thing. I could I use Purview and Defender? Yes, maybe, but right now, this is my ideal configuration. So that going into so you're not going to see value out of E5, and you're certainly at this point not going to see value out of E7. So you go into the negotiation knowing that, but then Microsoft comes back and says, well, what if what would it take to go E5? And so you go back, you reassess, you think about it, and a lot of times customers will come to an arrangement where the deal is good enough and they sign up for E5, but they're happy about it because they feel like they know they're not overpaying because they've got whatever the financial package is that they negotiated with Microsoft, and it works out. But if they hadn't done the groundwork of understanding their feature level, it would be a very frustrating negotiation where Microsoft, you're always going to feel like like you're losing, right? And you
Right.
don't want that. The biggest way to prevent that is to get down there at the, roll up your sleeves and get down there at the feature level and build out your roadmap so you know where to start.